parable of the prodigal son. We've spent some Sundays on it. However, today we're going to look at what was the third of three parables in a way that commonly is not used. So today we're going to look at the two sons, and as we said before, you need to understand this before we go into it. These two sons, one, the younger, considered immoral, the bad son, and the older son, who was very good, considered the good son, are both lost sons. Both as valuable to the father as the next, but both of them have lived in a life that was separate from the family and the father. Both are spiritually lost. Now remember this. Jesus is speaking this parable to the same audience, all three parables, and he meant for them to consider three things. First of all, what does it cost to be reconciled to the family? Thirdly, or secondly, is there a missing elder brother? And thirdly, we're going to talk about the true older brother. So what did it cost for the brother to come home? Now, at a quick glance, you might say, well, there was nothing, because the father welcomed him, and there was no conditions put on his coming home. The father simply welcomes him. And notice what the father does. The father gives him a ring, a robe, sandals, and a big party. And it would seem at first glance that it was all free. Just out of the father's good grace, this stuff is bestowed upon the son, who the elder son does not believe is deserving of the gift. Now, Christian doctrine concerning the atonement, some question that teaching. They say that, well, this parable really tells us that God loves everybody, God welcomes everybody, and it's all free. God just gives it to us. No one deserves it, of course, but He just forgives you, and your sin is put away. However, that is not true. It is not free. In fact, the cost of welcoming this son home is extremely expensive. There is a great cost that was paid. And really, that's why the older brother is so furious. You notice the anger and the resentment against the younger brother being allowed to come back in the family with no conditions. The older brother is angry, and here's how he states it. You never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But you kill the fattened calf for him. You hear the tone of the older brother who is saying, you welcome this immoral, inconsiderate son of yours back into the family, and the cost should not be paid. Remember in the story we talked about, in order for the younger son to get his share of the estate, the father has probably had to sell some property. Typically at this time, the younger one's going to receive a third of the estate. The older brother gets the lion's share. So we'll just say 2/3 was then now the older brother's. The younger son takes off with a third of whatever this is, and he blows it. It's all gone. It's all spent. He has nothing left of his father's estate